There is a level of discipline that actually makes people nervous to be around you, and today you're going to find out exactly how to get it. You've seen that person before, the one who never misses, the one who wakes up at the same time every single day, does the exact same things, and just never stops. While everyone else quits by the third week of January, they're still going in December. While everyone else makes excuses, they just show up. People look at them and say, "Man, that is not normal." And they're right. It's not normal. There is an ancient system created by Zen monks that produces exactly this kind of frightening consistency. They call it times Gyoji, times the practice that perpetuates itself. Once you understand how it works, you will never break a promise to yourself again. But there's a catch. This system isn't for everyone. It requires you to kill the part of yourself that loves being comfortable. But if you're ready to level up, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let's get into it. The story I'm about to tell you happened to a guy named Mike. Mike was a smart guy. He had a solid career in tech, made good money, but he had one major problem. He was a chronic quitter. He couldn't stick to a habit to save his life. The gym? He'd stop after 2 months. Meditation? Maybe a week. Reading? He'd buy the book, read 3 pages, and use it as a coaster. The pattern was always the same. Monday was total motivation. Wednesday was the first mental negotiation. Friday was complete surrender. And Sunday was full of empty promises about next week. Mike tried everything. Habit tracking apps, rewards, accountability buddies. Nothing worked because he was fighting a war against his own biology. He was stuck in this loop until he met a mentor named Arthur. Arthur was an old-school guy who hadn't missed a day of his own routine in 40 years. Arthur taught Mike the first rule: identity over intention. See, your brain categorizes every commitment into 2 boxes: reversible and irreversible. I'm going to try to work out is reversible. It invites negotiation. I am an athlete is irreversible. It demands action. Arthur explained that when you make a behavior public, your primitive brain interprets failure as a threat to your social survival. Our ancestors who lost status in the tribe died. Your brain still works that way. So that's exactly what Mike did. He stopped making private promises and started making public declarations. He wrote it down. I am a person who trains for 20 minutes every day at 5 a.m. for 90 days straight. He didn't just write it in a journal. He posted it on social media. He told his boss. He told his family. His girlfriend told him he was being dramatic. His buddies at work laughed and said he was trying too hard. Perfect. Every person he told became fuel. Every morning he wanted to hit snooze. He thought about having to look everyone in the face and admit he was just another guy who couldn't keep his word. The fear of public embarrassment became stronger than the desire to sleep. But social pressure isn't enough. When the alarm screams at 5 a.m., Mike was still fighting the internal war. That's when he applied the second principle, the non-negotiable hour. Every day, you waste mental energy on the same stupid question. When will I do this? Before work? After dinner? That decision burns up the fuel you need for the actual work. Mike chose 5 a.m., not because he was a morning person, but because the world was asleep. No texts, no emails, no distractions. The time wasn't about optimization, it was about elimination. Eliminating every possible excuse to do it later. The first week was absolute hell. His body fought him every single morning. But by the second week, something shifted. He started waking up 2 minutes before his alarm. His body stopped arguing and started preparing. But here is where most people fail. They get bored. They want variety. They want to switch up the workout, change the book, try a new app. Arthur warned him, variety is where consistency dies. Every time you change what you're doing, your brain has to make a new decision. Should I do cardio or weights? Which chapter should I read? Every small decision is a crack where your old lazy self leaks back in. Mike locked it down. 20 push-ups, 10 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of reading. Same order, same timer, same thing, every day. It was boring. It was robotic. And that was exactly the point. By week 6, Mike was halfway through his push-ups before he even realized he'd started. The practice was taking care of itself. Then came the real test. Day 40. Mike had to travel for a business conference. 4 a.m. flight. Meetings all day. No gym at the hotel. This is the gap. This is where the old Mike would have said, "I'm traveling. I'll take a rest day and start again Monday." But in this system, there are no gaps. A river doesn't stop flowing just because there's a drought. It just gets thinner. If it stops, it's not a river anymore, it's a puddle. Mike used the final secret, the pre-solution. He had already written down exactly what to do when things went wrong. If he was traveling, push-ups in the bathroom. If he was sick, meditate sitting up in bed. If he was exhausted, cut the time in half, but never cut the habit. So there he was, at the airport gate, doing push-ups in his suit, while people looked at him like he had lost his mind. He meditated in the Uber. He read on the plane. Nothing was perfect, but the chain remained unbroken. Day 90 arrived. Mike had completed 3 months of uninterrupted practice. Friends told him, "You've changed. You're kind of intense now." Someone actually told him his discipline wasn't healthy, that he needed balance. They wanted him to slow down so they could feel better about standing still. But Mike wasn't doing it for them. He realized that consistency isn't about doing something every day. It's about becoming someone who can't do it any other way. When you implement this system, the public declaration, the fixed schedule, the boring repetition, and the pre-solutions, you stop being someone who tries, and you become someone who just is. So, the question remains, are you ready for that level of transformation? Because it's not about discipline. It's about the death of your old, inconsistent self. If this changed your perspective, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. And tell me in the comments, what is your public declaration? What is the one habit you are going to lock in for the next 90 days? Don't just think it. Write it down. Make it real. Thank you for staying with us. See you in the next story with new thoughts and new lessons. Until then, stay well and stay peaceful.